Miss Marisol Vale, a serious-looking secretary, called into the waiting room at the big Blackwood mansion. "Mr. Julian Blackwood will see you now." Marisol stood up. She wore a simple black dress and held her old leather purse tightly. This was her last chance. She had already tried 5 other families but didn't get the job. She really needed this one. Her daughter Lena had school fees due next week, and the landlord wanted rent soon. The office she walked into was bigger than her whole apartment. A tall man with cold eyes, Julian Blackwood, was sitting at a big desk. He didn't even look up when she walked in. "You're here for the caregiver job?" he asked in a flat voice. "Yes, sir," Marisol said. "I have 3 years of experience and my grandmother taught me." "Stop," Julian said. "Can you give baths and help someone who can't move? Changing clothes and all that?" "Yes, sir," Marisol said. "I've worked with many patients who couldn't move." "And you know that everything in this house must stay a secret?" Julian asked. "No talking to anyone about anything you see or hear." "Of course, sir," Marisol nodded. Julian finally looked up. He stared at her from head to toe. "You're hired. Mrs. Agnes will show you your room. You start tomorrow at 6 a.m. sharp." Marisol blinked in surprise. I can't live in. I have a daughter." "Then you're not hired," Julian said quickly, looking back at his papers. Marisol's heart started beating fast. She thought about Lena. She thought about the paper on their door saying they could be kicked out. "Wait," she said. "My daughter, could she stay here too? She's very quiet and well-behaved. She's 7. Julian's jaw got tight. He picked up his phone. "Agnes, the new hire has a child. Make the small room next to the staff quarters ready." He hung up without waiting. "One mistake, one complaint from my brother's fiancée, and you're both gone. Understand?" Marisol nodded fast. "When can I meet Mr. Damien Blackwood?" A strange look passed over Julian's face. "My brother isn't seeing visitors. You'll care for him, but don't expect him to talk. The accident changed him. He's different now." As Marisol followed Mrs. Agnes, the older housekeeper, through the big house, she felt something strange. The mansion felt cold and quiet. All the family pictures were gone. Only empty spots on the wall were left where they used to be. "Here's your room," Mrs. Agnes said. It was small but clean. "And your daughter can stay in this one." She pointed to a smaller room next door. "The bathroom is shared with other staff. The kitchen is only for eating during mealtimes." "When should I bring our things?" Marisol asked. "Tonight," said Mrs. Agnes. "And girl," she said softly, "be careful around Miss Montenegro. That's Mr. Damien's fiancée. She doesn't like... Well, just be careful." That evening, Marisol packed their things. Lena bounced around, excited. "Is it like a castle, Mama?" she asked. "Is there a swimming pool? Will there be other kids?" Marisol hugged her. "Remember what we talked about? This is Mama's job. We must be quiet and respectful. The man I'll take care of is very sick." "I'll be good, Mama. I promise," Lena said. Marisol smiled, but she still felt worried. Something about Mr. Julian's cold eyes and the missing photos didn't feel right. What had she gotten them into? The next morning, Marisol stood outside the big bedroom. Her hands were shaking. She knocked on the door. "Enter," said a woman's voice. The bedroom was huge, with big windows and fancy things everywhere. But Marisol only looked at the man lying in the hospital bed, Damien Blackwood. He didn't move. His eyes were open, but he stared at nothing. Next to him stood a very fancy woman. She wore a dress that looked super expensive. "You're the new helper?" she said. "I'm Celine Montenegro, Damien's fiancée. Dr. Beatrix will give you instructions. Just follow them. Don't try anything on your own." Marisol walked to the bed. "Good morning, Mr. Blackwood. I'm Marisol. I'll be taking care of you." There was no answer. Not even a blink. "Don't bother," Celine said, looking at herself in a mirror. "He's been like that since the accident. Dr. Beatrix says it will never get better." But then Marisol saw something. Damien's hand moved, just a little, and his eyes. Was there a small change? Before she could look closer, the door opened. A woman with a sharp face came in. She wore a white coat and had a medical bag. "Please show the new girl what to do," Celine said, already leaving. "I have a charity lunch." The doctor gave short instructions. "Clean him, feed him, turn him so he doesn't get sores. Don't try to talk to him. It only confuses him." But Marisol noticed something else. Damien's muscles were not weak like someone who hadn't moved for months, and when she touched him, he responded, just a little. That night, after Lena was in bed, Marisol looked through Damien's medical files. Something didn't make sense. The report said he had bad brain damage, but the little things she saw were different. She looked out the window and made a decision. She would watch, wait, and write everything down. Her grandmother used to say, "Healing starts with truth." Marisol felt truth was missing in this house. She didn't know it yet, but the next day, she would find something that would change everything, starting in the bathroom. The next morning, Marisol pushed her medical cart to Damien's room right at 6 a.m. Celine had already gone to her morning yoga, which the staff said meant drinks and shopping. "Good morning, Mr. Blackwood," Marisol said. No answer, like always. Today, she would give him his first bath. She got everything ready. The bathroom was huge, with shiny marble and gold faucets. As she helped Damien using a special machine, she noticed something. His hand grabbed the sheet. Not by accident. He meant to do it. Her heart beat fast, but she stayed calm. "Don't worry, Mr. Blackwood," she said gently. "I'll be very careful." When they got to the bathroom and she started to remove his clothes, she saw something that stopped her. Tears. Real tears, falling from his eyes. And his eyes were no longer empty. They were full of shame, fear, and awareness. Marisol leaned close and whispered, "Can you understand me, Mr. Blackwood? If yes, blink twice." He blinked. Once. Twice. "Are they drugging you?" she whispered. 2 blinks for yes. 2 blinks. "Do they know you're awake?" she asked. 1 blink. She had to help him, but there were cameras. She had to be very careful. "I'll help you," she whispered. "But you have to trust me." Damien blinked twice again, and then he squeezed her hand. That night, after Lena was asleep, Marisol pulled out her grandmother's old notebook. It had healing recipes and special exercises. Marisol used to think it was old and silly, but now it might be the only way to help Damien. She didn't see the shadow outside her window. Someone else in the house had secrets too, and they would do anything to keep them hidden. The next morning, Marisol saw someone had messed with her medical cart. It was a warning. But when she saw the hope in Damien's eyes, she knew she couldn't stop. This wasn't just a job anymore. It was about saving a man's life. What Marisol didn't know was that her daughter Lena was already part of the mystery. Lena loved exploring the big house. Mama said to stay quiet and out of the way, but Lena was good at being invisible. That's how she found him, the sad man in the big bed. She followed a butterfly through a window and peeked inside a room. "Hello," she said softly. "I'm Lena. My mama helps take care of you." The man didn't move, but Lena was smart. She had seen this before. "You're not really sleeping," she said. "Your eyes move when you hear things." She walked closer. "You don't look sick. You look sad." A tear rolled down his cheek. "Don't cry," Lena said. She pulled out her favorite stuffed elephant. "Mr. Trunks always helps me feel better. You can borrow him." She placed it next to his hand. Then she saw the medicine cup. "My friend Maria takes medicine, but hers doesn't look like that," she said. Damien's eyes grew wide. "I can help," Lena said happily. "I helped Mrs. Rodriguez all the time." She heard footsteps and hid behind the curtain. Dr. Beatrix walked in. "Time for your medication, Mr. Blackwood," she said. Lena watched the doctor put something in the water. It made the water look cloudy. After the doctor left, Lena came out. "That's not nice medicine," she said. "Nice medicine doesn't look like that. I'm going to tell Mama." Damien's eyes begged her not to. "Don't worry," Lena whispered. "I'm good at secrets. I won't tell anyone else." That evening, Lena waited until her mama finished writing in her special notebook. "Mama," she said quietly, "do you know the man you take care of?" Marisol looked up fast. "Lena, you haven't been bothering Mr. Blackwood, have you?" No, Mama, but I saw something today. The doctor lady puts something in his water that makes it look cloudy. Then he gets very sleepy. But I don't think he's really sleeping. I think he's just pretending. Marisol's hand stopped moving. What do you mean, mi amor? He can see and hear everything, Lena said. He just can't move. Like when my foot falls asleep. Remember? It's still there, but it doesn't work right. Marisol pulled Lena into a big hug. Mi amor, this is very important. Did anyone see you in his room? Lena shook her head. I'm quiet like a little mouse, just like you taught me, and I left Mr. Trunks with him so he won't be lonely. Your elephant? But you can't sleep without him. It's okay, Mama. Mr. Blackwood needs him more than me right now. Marisol felt tears in her eyes. Her sweet daughter's kind heart may have just helped them find the truth. The next morning, Marisol found Mr. Trunks hidden under Damien's pillow. But next to the elephant, there was something else, a torn piece of paper from a magazine. Somehow, Damien had used his fingers to tear it. It was an ad for a medicine, the same one Dr. Beatrix had been giving him. Marisol took the paper quickly. Now she had something real to check. But they weren't the only ones who noticed things. Julian Blackwood saw something missing from his brother's room, and Celine Montenegro started to wonder why Damien looked more awake during Marisol's shifts. Things were getting dangerous, and now Lena was involved too. That night, when Marisol tucked Lena into bed, her daughter asked, Mama, why do bad people do bad things? Marisol gently touched Lena's hair. Sometimes people want something so badly, they forget to do what's right. Like that mean lady in the fancy dresses, she doesn't really love Mr. Blackwood, does she? How do you know that, mi amor? Marisol asked. Because love means taking care of someone, even when it's hard. Like how you take care of me. The mean lady doesn't even look at him. Marisol was surprised. Lena had seen through Celine's fake smile, but Lena wasn't finished. The next day, she did something very simple but very powerful. She changed everything, with a crayon, a piece of paper, and a big heart. Lena sat quietly in Damien's room while her mama worked. She was drawing like always, but this time it was different. Look, Mr. Blackwood, she said, showing her picture. This is you, and this is the doctor lady putting the bad medicine in your water, and these are the bottles she keeps in her special bag. Damien's eyes got big. Lena had drawn everything, the bottles, the pills, even how Dr. Beatrix mixed them. Lena, Marisol rushed over, worried. What are you doing? But then she saw the drawings too. Lena had made real proof without even knowing it. Mi amor, Marisol said softly. Can you draw more? Show everything the doctor lady does? Lena nodded. Can I use my glitter crayons? Over the next hour, Lena made more drawings. One showed Dr. Beatrix talking on the phone in the garden. Another showed Julian looking through papers in Damien's office. One showed Celine meeting strange men. And one last drawing showed Celine yelling on the phone about something called power of attorney. You mean power of attorney, Marisol said, her mind racing. Just then, footsteps came closer. Marisol grabbed the drawings quickly, but one drawing slipped and fell behind Damien's bed. Celine came in, her high heels tapping on the floor. What is that child doing in here? She shouted. This isn't a daycare. I'm sorry, Miss Montenegro, Marisol said. She was just... Get her out, now, Celine snapped, and don't let her come back here. Marisol hurried out with Lena, holding the drawings close to her chest. But the most important one, the one showing Dr. Beatrix mixing the medicine, was left behind. Later that night, while the house was quiet, Mrs. Agnes was cleaning Damien's room. She found the lost drawing. She stared at it for a long time. Then she did something she had never done in 30 years of working for the Blackwoods. She opened Dr. Beatrix's medical bag while the doctor was eating dinner. What she found scared her. She knocked on Marisol's door that night. Girl, we need to talk. Mrs. Agnes had worked in the house for a long time. She had watched Damien grow up. She showed Marisol a photo she had taken. My sister got this same medicine once in the hospital. It's not for helping people who can't move. It's for putting people to sleep during long surgeries. Marisol's hands shook. They're keeping him sleepy on purpose. But why? Money, Mrs. Agnes said. Always follow the money. She pulled out a newspaper clipping. 2 weeks before the car crash, Mr. Damien was about to merge the company with a big business. It would have made millions, but Julian didn't like it. He wanted to keep the company all to himself. And Celine? Marisol asked. That woman, Mrs. Agnes said firmly. She was trying to get a contract to control 30% of the company if anything happened to Damien. They didn't sign it, but now that Damien can't talk, she acts like she owns everything. They heard a sound in the hallway and stopped talking. When it stayed quiet, Mrs. Agnes leaned closer. There's more. Dr. Beatrix isn't just a doctor. She's Julian's old girlfriend. I've seen them meeting in secret. Marisol's head was spinning. We need real proof, not just drawings and guesses. Already working on it, Mrs. Agnes said with a smile. You know the cameras in the house? My husband used to take care of the security. He showed me where the backup files are kept. For the first time, Marisol felt hope. Maybe they had a chance, but someone else had heard their secret talk. Someone who had been watching Marisol and Lena, and they wanted the truth to come out too. The next morning, Marisol found a USB drive hidden in her cleaning cart. It had videos from the cameras, weeks of proof showing everything happening in Damien's room. There was also a note from a friend who knows what it's like to be betrayed by Julian Blackwood. Now they had the evidence, but using it wouldn't be easy, because the people they were fighting had a lot to lose. The day things began to fall apart started with a scream. Marisol ran to Damien's room and saw Celine shouting at Dr. Beatrix. What do you mean he's building resistance? That's not possible, Celine yelled. You promised this would keep him quiet. Lower your voice, Dr. Beatrix said. She looked at the doorway. Marisol was there. Celine turned around, looking sad suddenly. Oh, Marisol, thank goodness. Damien's been upset. The doctor says we might need to change his medicine. Marisol acted like she believed them. Of course, Miss Montenegro. Should I come back later? No, Dr. Beatrix said quickly. I need to see how he reacts. Marisol's heart beat fast. She knew what was really in the syringe, but today was different. As Dr. Beatrix walked over with the medicine, Damien's hand shot out. He knocked the syringe to the floor. Damien, Celine shouted. Marisol quickly cleaned it up, but inside she was happy. The plan was working. Thanks to Lena spilling drinks and Mrs. Agnes stopping the doctor sometimes, Damien had been getting stronger. I'll have to sedate him, Dr. Beatrix said. No, Marisol said. Then more calmly, maybe he's trying to tell us something. Sometimes being upset is a sign of getting better. Better? Celine laughed. Please, you're a cleaning lady. Let the real doctors handle this. But Damien was looking straight at Marisol. His eyes were clear. He was trying to say something. That afternoon, Marisol got a message. Meeting tonight in the basement. Bring everything. At midnight, Marisol tiptoed to the basement with the USB and Lena's drawings. Mrs. Agnes was there with someone else. It was James Chen, Damien's old security boss. I left you the USB, James said. I've been watching Julian ever since he fired me after the crash. Mrs. Agnes took out a big folder. Tell her what you found. James spread out papers. The crash wasn't an accident. Julian paid someone to break Damien's car. He only wanted to hurt him a little, just enough to stop the company deal. But something went wrong. The brakes broke completely. Damien almost died. Marisol felt sick. Does Celine know? James played a voice recording. It was Celine. Just make sure it happens before the wedding. I'm not signing any prenup. I'm not spending my life with a man who cares more about his company than status. We have to go to the police, Marisol said. The police? Mrs. Agnes shook her head. Girl, Julian knows too many people. We need to show this to everyone. At the shareholders' meeting, James said. It's in 3 days. All the big company people will be there. Julian wants to take over. Marisol said, if Damien could go and show he's awake. too dangerous, Mrs. Agnes said. They'll never let him leave the house. Then we take all the proof to the meeting, Marisol said with a firm voice. The video recordings, the doctor's reports, everything. They'll stop you before you even get inside, James warned. Not if we get help, Marisol smiled. Lena had made friends with the security guard's daughter. Sometimes he let Lena play in the security room, and tomorrow was take your child to work day at the company. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang through the big house. Fire alarm! Mrs. Agnes shouted, but she looked suspicious. Everyone ran upstairs. Smoke was coming from the east side of the house, right where Marisol's room was. My Lena! Marisol screamed, running toward the stairs. But Lena wasn't in their room. She was hiding under Damien's bed. She had heard Celine talking on the phone. Celine told someone to take care of the problem tonight. Fire trucks arrived, and everyone had to leave the house. But no one saw Dr. Beatrix sneak into Damien's room with a scary needle. No one, except Lena. Lena had switched the doctor's medical bag with one that had only harmless water. She had colored it to look like medicine, just like in her favorite spy movies. Now in Damien's room, Dr. Beatrix said, Damien, this is just to keep you calm during all this. She tried to use the needle, but nothing came out. She tried another one, still nothing. What? This can't be, she said, panicking. Lena smiled under the bed. Her plan worked. Suddenly, Damien moved his hand, really moved it. Without the bad medicine, he was finally strong. He grabbed Dr. Beatrix's wrist. Let go, the doctor yelled. Just then, Marisol, James, and 2 firefighters ran in. They saw the room in chaos. Damien was holding the doctor's hand. The floor was full of scattered medical tools. Lena crawled out from under the bed, smiling proudly. Mama, I did it. I switched the bad medicine just like in the movies. Dr. Beatrix turned pale. You little brat, do you know what you've done? But Marisol wasn't listening. She was staring at Damien. His eyes were clear, and he whispered, Marisol. Right then, Celine appeared at the door, still looking perfect. What's happening here? Why isn't Damien being taken out? One firefighter stepped forward. Ma'am, we found proof that someone messed with the electric wires in the east wing. It may have started the fire. Celine's face changed, just for a moment. A flash of guilt. Of course, she said quickly. Dr. Beatrix started helping the staff move Damien, but Damien said loudly, no. Everyone froze. His voice was rough but strong. No more drugs, he said. Marisol, stay. Celine's face turned fake sweet. Damien, you're confused. He's not, Lena shouted. He's better because I switched the mean doctor's medicine. And I heard you, Miss Celine. You told someone to start the fire. How dare you? Celine raised her hand at Lena. But before she could touch her, Damien sat up in bed. Touch her, and I'll have you arrested. The firefighters looked at each other. One spoke into his radio. Chief, we need police here. And maybe the district attorney, too. Celine stepped back. This is nonsense. I'm calling Julian. A new voice came from the door. Already here, sister. Julian Blackwood stood there, no longer looking so confident. And I think we have a problem. The police found some strange papers in your room during the fire evacuation. Celine gasped. You said you destroyed those. Julian gave a cold smile. A smart man always keeps a copy, and right now you're a big problem. You liar! Celine screamed and scratched his face with her nails. Firefighters jumped in to stop her. In the mess, no one noticed Lena slipping Dr. Beatrix's phone into James's hand. The phone had all the bad messages and voice recordings. As the police came and asked questions, Marisol sat beside Damien's bed, holding his hand. How long have you known? She asked softly. Trapped, in my own body, watching them take everything, Damien whispered. Lena climbed onto the bed, being very careful not to touch any wires. Don't worry, Mr. Blackwood, she said. Mama and I will help you get strong again. And Mr. Trunks, her stuffed bear, can stay with you too. Damien smiled. Thank you, both of you. His hands squeezed Marisol's. Stay, he said. We'll stay, Marisol promised, her eyes full of tears. For as long as you need us. But the trouble wasn't over. In the guest house where staff had gone during the fire, Mrs. Agnes found something shocking. In Julian's private office, she found secret papers. She read them with shaking hands. "Oh, Mr. Damien," she whispered, "your father didn't die from a heart attack." The papers told a secret story. Gideon Blackwood, Damien's and Julian's dad, had discovered something bad about the company. The family's money came from dark secrets. The door creaked. Julian walked in, his clothes messy from fighting with Celine. "Looking for something?" he said. "I was just cleaning," Mrs. Agnes said. "Save it," Julian snapped. "I always wondered why my father trusted you. Now I know. You were helping him find out the truth." "He was a good man," Mrs. Agnes said. "He wanted to fix things." "Fix things," Julian laughed coldly. "If the world knew how we made our money, it would ruin us." "People are already ruined," she replied. "Your father was going to tell the truth. That's why he had to die." "And that's why Damien must disappear too," Julian said. But neither of them saw Lena outside the window, recording everything on Marisol's phone, just like her mom taught her. Back at the main house, Damien was trying to sit up with Marisol's help. "Take it slow," she said. "Your muscles need to wake up." "No time," he said. "Big meeting tomorrow. Need to tell you something." Suddenly, Dr. Beatrix ran into the room with two police officers. "There she is," she shouted, pointing at Marisol. "She's treating patients without a license. Arrest her." Marisol froze. "Wait," said a strong voice from the door. A tall woman in a fancy suit walked in. It was District Attorney Morrison. James was with her. "Those arrest orders are canceled," the DA said. "We have proof that Dr. Beatrix was giving Damien dangerous medicines on Julian's orders." "You can't prove anything," Dr. Beatrix cried. "Actually, we can," James said, holding up her phone. "All your bad messages are on here." The DA turned to Damien. "Your father was helping us," she said. "He gave proof of the company's crimes. Money lies, stealing, even worse things." Marisol gasped. Just then, Lena burst in. "Mama, Mr. Julian killed his daddy." I heard him tell Mrs. Agnes. Before anyone could move, a loud gunshot rang out. Through the window, they saw Julian holding Mrs. Agnes, dragging her toward a car. "Nobody move," Julian shouted, "or I'll hurt her." But he didn't expect what happened next. All the staff, gardeners, guards, workers, surrounded him. They had all loved Gideon Blackwood. "It's over, Mr. Julian," said Mateo, the gardener, holding sharp garden scissors. "Let her go." Julian looked around, scared. Mrs. Agnes acted fast. She stomped his foot and hit his ribs like she saw in her favorite police shows. The gun flew from his hand. The staff jumped on him and held him down until the police came. As they took Julian away in handcuffs, Mrs. Agnes ran to Damien. "These papers," she said. "Your dad left a letter. He knew they might hurt him, but he wanted you to know the truth and fix it." Damien looked at the papers, then Marisol, then Lena, who was curled up with Mr. Trunks. "We'll make it right," he said. "Together." But even now, the danger wasn't gone. Dr. Beatrix had slipped away during all the chaos. She had one last evil plan. She drove through the dark streets, holding the steering wheel tight. Everything she worked for was falling apart. She reached an old motel, room 37. Inside was a man hiding in the shadows. "I was wondering when you'd come," he said in a rough voice. It's over, Father," Dr. Beatrix said. "They know everything about Julian and the company's past." Thaddeus Beatrix leaned forward in his shiny suit. The small, messy room made his fancy clothes look even more out of place. He said in a quiet, sneaky voice, "My dear, they don't know anything. Who do you think helped Gideon Blackwood build his company? It was me. I introduced him to the right people." "But why are you making me help Julian hurt Damien?" someone asked. "Because Damien is too honest," Thaddeus said. "He's like his father, and he's ruining everything we worked for." Thaddeus stood up. "But we still have one last trick." Back at the mansion, Marisol was helping Damien get dressed for a big meeting. He had been very sick, but now he was getting stronger since he stopped taking the bad medicine. "Are you sure you want to do this?" Marisol asked, fixing his tie. Damien held her hand and placed it on his chest. I have to. For my father. For the truth. And for us. Suddenly, Lena ran into the room wearing her favorite party dress. Mama, Mr. Blackwood, look what Mrs. Agnes gave me. She held up an old photo. It showed a young Mrs. Agnes standing beside Gideon Blackwood. Between them stood a little boy. Agnes says this was taken the day your daddy wanted to fix everything, Mr. Damien, Lena said. Because of you. Damien's hands trembled as he took the photo. I remember this day. My father had just found out what his business friends were doing, hurting people with their ships. Yes, Marisol said quietly. The DA said it was human trafficking. Damien nodded. My father wanted to stop them. That's why I tried to change the company too. But Julian didn't want that. He wanted to hide the truth, Marisol said. Just then, Mrs. Agnes ran into the room. Quick, turn on the TV. They turned it on. The news showed Dr. Beatrix crying at a podium. I can't stay quiet anymore, she said. Damien Blackwood is sick. He's saying crazy things about his family. He must go to a hospital for his safety and everyone else's. That's a lie, Marisol shouted, but Damien squeezed her hand. Wait, look behind her. In the shadows of the news video stood an old man in a fancy suit. Thaddeus Beatrix, Damien whispered. Dr. Beatrix's father. He worked with my father. He's the one who brought the bad people. Mrs. Agnes nodded. Your father told me everything before he died. Then Lena, who had been playing with her stuffed elephant, spoke up. Is that the man from the mean doctor's phone? Everyone looked at her. What picture? Marisol asked. The one the mean doctor looks at every night before making secret calls, Lena said. He's standing with Mr. Damien's daddy. He looks mad and has red stuff on his hands. Damien looked pale. Lena, when did you see this? The night I switched the medicine bags. I used her phone to play games. I saw lots of pictures. One was in a folder called Insurance. James Chen, who had been guarding the door, jumped up. If Dr. Beatrix has photos from the night Mr. Blackwood died, that's why she's doing this now, he said. She's trying to protect her dad, Damien said. If she goes down, she'll take him too. The meeting starts in 1 hour, said Mrs. Agnes. Everyone will be there. Yes, Damien said, even Thaddeus Beatrix. He has to protect his name. Marisol, I need your help, one last time. Marisol looked around at Damien, getting stronger, Lena holding Mr. Trunks, Mrs. Agnes full of secrets, and James ready to protect them. Not the last time, Marisol said with a smile. The first time, as a family. But none of them knew one big secret. Dr. Beatrix had hidden something very important, a USB drive. And it was hidden in the last place anyone would look, inside Mr. Trunks, Lena's stuffed elephant. At the big Blackwood Industries Conference Center, everyone was nervous. The board members, news reporters, and investors filled the room, wondering what would happen next. Dr. Beatrix stood at the front, checking her phone. Her father, Thaddeus Beatrix, sat in the front row in his expensive suit, looking nervous. Any sign of them? He whispered to his daughter. Nothing yet, she said, but Damien's car just arrived. Down in the parking garage, Marisol helped Damien out of the car. He was walking well now, but they brought a wheelchair just in case. Lena clutched Mr. Trunks. Mrs. Agnes and James Chen stood beside them. Remember the plan, James said. We must make Thaddeus Beatrix confess before he finds out about the USB drive. And keep Lena safe, Damien added. He took Marisol's hand. No matter what happens up there. Marisol looked at Lena. Stay close to me, Mayam. Don't let go of Mr. Trunks. They took a secret elevator to the top floor. But when the doors opened, someone was waiting. Celine Montenegro. Well, she said, dressed perfectly even after a night in jail. Looks like everyone's here. You're supposed to be in jail? James said. My daddy's lawyers are very good, Celine said with a cold smile. And expensive. She held up her phone. Someone just took $10 million from the company accounts. I wonder who could do that? They heard Dr. Beatrix talking through the doors. As Mr. Blackwood's doctor, I must say he is not well. She's starting, Damien said. We need to get in there. Oh no, you're not, Celine blocked the way. Until what? Lena suddenly said. Until you hurt more people like you hurt Mr. Blackwood's daddy? Celine's smile faded. What is she talking about? Show her, Marisol said. Lena held up Mr. Trunks. The mean doctor put something in my elephant. I saw her do it. I also heard her talk about pictures of you with the old man. Celine's face turned white. That's impossible. Thaddeus Beatrix said those pictures were gone. Got it, James said, recording everything on his phone. Celine realized her mistake. She jumped at the elephant, but Lena was faster. She threw Mr. Trunks to Mrs. Agnes, who caught it with surprising speed. Now, Damien said. They burst into the room. Marisol pushed Damien in the wheelchair. Lena ran beside them, and Mrs. Agnes and James blocked Celine. Dr. Beatrix froze in shock as Damien stood up. The room gasped. Flashbulbs went off. Ladies and gentlemen, Damien said loudly, I think Dr. Beatrix was about to lie to you, but let's talk about what really happened. Thaddeus Beatrix jumped up. This is nonsense. Security. No, it's not, James said. They work for us now. Damien took Marisol's hand again. 25 years ago, my father found out the company was being used for bad things, like hurting people. His partner, Thaddeus Beatrix, helped make it happen. More gasps. Dr. Beatrix tried to sneak out the side door. Don't even try, Mrs. Agnes said, holding up Mr. Trunks, unless you want everyone to see what's inside. Damien went on. My father was going to tell the truth, but he was killed. The same people tried to kill me too. Lies, Thaddeus Beatrix shouted. Is it? Damien said. James played the recordings. Celine's voice, Thaddeus Beatrix promised those pictures were destroyed. Then Julian's voice, telling Mrs. Agnes how they hurt Damien's father. Then Dr. Beatrix's own voice. Daddy, if they arrest me, I'm showing them everything. Thaddeus Beatrix ran at the stage, but Marisol stood in front of Damien. Lena bravely stuck out her foot. Thump! Thaddeus Beatrix fell on his face. The room went wild. Reporters ran in. Security grabbed Thaddeus, Dr. Beatrix, and Celine. Damien looked at Marisol and Lena. I couldn't have done this without you, Lena grinned. Does this mean you'll marry Mama? Mrs. Agnes says you look at her like the princes look at princesses in my storybooks. Marisol blushed. Damien smiled. Mr. Trunks already said yes. What do you say, Marisol? Ready to fix this company with me as a family? Before she could answer, bang! Dr. Beatrix had broken free and taken a guard's gun. This isn't over, she yelled. Time stopped. She aimed at Damien. Marisol jumped in front of him, but thud! Dr. Beatrix fell down. Mrs. Agnes stood behind her, holding Mr. Trunks like a bat. I played softball in college, she said. Never lost my swing. Dr. Beatrix screamed, Get me that elephant! But it was too late. James already had the USB drive. FBI agents entered. Damiania Beatrix, you're under arrest, said one, for hurting people, lying, and a lot more. They took her away. She looked at her dad. Daddy, help me! But Thaddeus just sneered. You're as weak as your mother. Actually, said Mrs. Agnes, stepping forward, Margaret Beatrix wasn't weak. She was helping Gideon Blackwood. That's why she disappeared. Thaddeus turned pale. How do you know? He asked. Because I helped her escape, Mrs. Agnes said proudly. She's been hiding in Maine, collecting proof. That USB drive, it came from her. Dr. Beatrix gasped. You said she left us. She'll be here tomorrow, Mrs. Agnes said gently, to tell the truth and to see you if you want to hear her story. As the FBI took the last of the bad people away, the reporters rushed forward to ask questions. But Damien held up his hand. I'll talk to everyone tomorrow, he said. But right now there's something more important I need to do. He turned to Marisol and took both of her hands in his. Marisol Valley, he said, smiling, you saved my life in more ways than I can count. You showed me what real love is, not the fake love that Celine had, but true, deep love that gives everything for someone else. Then Damien did something that made Lena gasp in surprise. He got down on one knee. I know this might seem fast to other people, he said, but when you spend months stuck in your body, hearing everything but not being able to speak, you learn what's real. And what we have, you, me, and Lena, It's the most real thing I've ever known. Marisol had tears in her eyes as Damien pulled out a ring. It wasn't a big, shiny ring like Celine's. It was a simple, beautiful ring that had belonged to Damien's mother. "Will you marry me?" he asked. Then he looked at Lena and smiled. "Will you help me build something new, something good?" "Say yes, Mama," Lena shouted happily, jumping up and down. Marisol looked at her daughter's bright, happy face. She looked at Mrs. Agnes, who gave her a knowing smile. She saw James, who was trying not to cry. "Yes," Marisol whispered. "Yes to everything." 1 year later, the big Blackwood mansion had changed. It was no longer cold and quiet. Now it was full of sunshine, flowers, and children's laughter. Damien and Marisol had changed the company, too. Blackwood Industries was now helping people. They worked hard to stop human trafficking and to help people who had been hurt. Lena even wrote a children's book called Mr. Trunks Saves the Day. It was a surprise hit. All the money from the book went to help kids. Mrs. Agnes still helped run the house, but now she worked from a cozy office next to the kitchen. She loved watching over the food and the many happy children who came through the house's new programs. Celine was in jail for what she did. She was writing a book, but nobody really wanted to read it. Julian had told the truth and was now hiding in a safe place. Thaddeus Beatrix would never be free again. And Dr. Beatrix? She chose a better path. With her mom's help, she was now working at a special center to help people who had been hurt. She wanted to make up for her mistakes. On this special morning, Marisol stood in the garden. She and Damien had just said, "I do," again for their first wedding anniversary. Lena wore a flower girl dress, just like last year. She twirled around the roses with Mr. Trunks, her stuffed elephant. He was a little worn out now, but he still wore his bow tie proudly. "Penny for your thoughts?" Damien said as he wrapped his arms around Marisol from behind. "I was just thinking," Marisol smiled, "about how much can change in 1 year. "Yes," Damien said, "how love can fix even the deepest hurts. And sometimes," he added, "the most special treasures are found in the most surprising places." "Like a stuffed elephant," Lena giggled, running over to hug them. "Like a brave little girl," Damien said as he picked her up, "and her amazing mother. You both taught me something very important. That real love isn't about power or money," Lena said smartly. "It's about family." "Speaking of family," Marisol said with a twinkle in her eye. She took Damien's hand and placed it on her tummy. "We might need to give Lena a new job soon. How does Big Sister sound?" Lena squealed so loud that people in the city might have heard her. As the sun set over the Blackwood home, the warm light touched everything. Happy faces, blooming flowers, and a family that had been through hard times but came out stronger. On the fireplace mantel, next to fancy family photos, sat a simple crayon drawing. It showed a man, a woman, a little girl, and a stuffed elephant. At the top it said, "My family." And in Damien's office, in a special glass box, sat Mr. Trunks. He looked out proudly, guarding the love and happiness he helped create. He was the quiet hero of a love that never gave up. Thanks for watching. If you liked the story, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Check out our other videos too. See you in the next one.